Hello out there once again, all my fellow Fix-It employees. Welcome back to another episode of How to Satisfactory 1.0. My brand new series for the official release of the game, guiding you through the journey of being a lone Fix-It pioneer on your designated planet. My walkthrough, tutorial, and Let's Play series, going from planetfall to building what I hope will be the perfect factory. In the last episode, we went ahead and went through all the things in Tier 1, base building, logistics, and even field research. However, I decided to leave this one kind of for an entire episode because we've got to go over the M.A.M. and research and the object scanner. So let's get started with that. Few things you're going to need real quick here before we get started is some reinforced iron plates. If you don't have any, go ahead and make you a few of those. I made 15 of them. You're also going to need some cable and some wire. Once you have all that, we'll step outside here of the hub and go into our build menu, and we're going to go into special right here. Here you will find a brand new thing we can build, the M.A.M, the molecular analysis machine. So let's go ahead and place this down. I'm just going to plop it down here real quick. It's only a temporary spot anyway. So what is the M.A.M? Well, the M.A.M is what we are going to be using in order to research the things we find. So far we've kind of discovered a few things out and about as we've been exploring the local area right here near our factory. Things like remains of the local wildlife we have killed. Maybe a few samples of plant life here and there. Oh yeah, and there's this crazy thing, the Mercer Sphere. Let's go ahead and grab that, throw it into our inventory, along with the remains as well. So let's go ahead and bring all that over here to the M.A.M. We're going to hit E, and then you're going to see a menu here pop up. Now we've got a few things, as you can see here highlighted. We've got alien megafauna, alien technology, and nutrients. Let's start at the top, of course, with alien megafauna. We'll click that. And then we'll be presented with this kind of research tree right here. So at the top you can see we have various items here that we can find throughout the world. One of which we have here is the hog remains. So we can do hog research, which is going to get us a reward right there. You can see alien protein. Let's go ahead and click that and click start research. Only takes a few seconds for it to finish, and voila. So now we've got that completed. So another thing we actually have in our inventory is some remains of a spitter. We can go ahead and do that one too. It's not necessary because we have already unlocked the next piece in the tree here, but I just like to kind of go through all these. Plus, you get a cool message from Ada. Now there's two other things here we can research, but we haven't actually found these yet. These belong to things called hatchers, or I like to refer to them as the fireflies. And then we have these stingers, which most people in the game affectionately refer to as spiders. So if we look down the tree, we have another thing here we can go ahead and research. This is bioorganic properties. So once we take some of the remains that we have and we turn those into the alien protein, we can take that alien protein, as you can see here, we need 5 of those as the cost, and then we can unlock alien DNA capsules and biomass. Let's go ahead and go over here to our crafting bench, and let's see, we can go down here, find hog protein and spitter protein under the alien remains tab right here. Let's go ahead and make these. Alright, so back over here at the M.A.M, back under alien megafauna, you can see here we need 5 of those alien proteins, but we were only able to make 3. So we need to, kill a few more things in order to get more remains. But you can kind of see down the tech tree right here, we're going to get a few new things unlocked once we get that. We can get more inventory, we can get structural analysis, we can get these inhalers, which are great for refilling your health on the fly. But let's move on down the road here. So let's go to alien technology. And we got 3 things to start with here under this tab. One of those is the Mercer Sphere, which we already have. The other one is Samor, which we have yet to discover, and Summer Sloops, which also we've yet to discover. But we do have this Mercer Sphere. Let's go ahead and research that. And that unlocks a brand new technology to 1.0, something I've not even played with yet, the Dimensional Depot. But we're still a little bit away from being able to do anything with that. So let's go ahead and jump out of this tab to the next one. Ah yes, nutrients. These you may have already found by now. Barrel nuts, berries, and bacon agaric. Well, I mean, I haven't found the bacon agaric yet, but we will eventually, and it's possible you have in your game. But I do have some of the pale berries, so I'm going to go ahead and start researching those. One thing to note is now, once we have the object scanner, we can actually scan for the pale berries. We can also do the same thing with the barrel nuts. So we'll go ahead and research those as well. Alright, so I still need to find some bacon shrooms. Those still out in the wild somewhere, but they're out and about, and I will find them eventually. But again, even though we haven't actually found these, we've already unlocked the next tab down here on the tree, which is Nutritional Processor. So for this though, before we can go any further on this tech tree, we're going to need steel pipes and the modular frames. Neither of which we can actually make right now at the moment. We can't even do anything with steel until we get to coal production, and we're still a bit away from that. Alright, so the takeaway from the M.A.M is essentially this. Whenever you're out and about, you're exploring, you find something new, not sure what it is, or maybe you do know what it is, always take a sample, bring it back here, throw it into the M.A.M, and you're probably going to unlock something interesting that we can use in the future. Alright, so next let's take a look at something else that we just learned under field research, and that is the object scanner. So we're going to come over here to the equipment workshop. Here you can see I can make one or two of these. We only need one, so I'm going to go ahead and make one real quick. Alright, next we'll go into our inventory. Look for the thing that looks like a gigantic Game Boy right here. We're going to throw that into one of our open hands, and up it's going to pop right here. Alright, so what does the object scanner do? I mean, it scans for objects. It's right there in the name. Duh. No, I'm just kidding. But you can actually go ahead and scan for any of the things that we've actually kind of researched under the M.A.M, such as the Mercer Sphere. I can search for other Mercer Spheres right here. We can also, by hitting our right mouse button, switch to something else, like pellberries, or barrel nuts, or back to the Mercer Sphere. Alright, so searching for Mercer Spheres, I completely get that. But I have no idea why I would want to actually search for a pellberry or a barrel nut. But these aren't the only things we can search for. It's just the only things we have options for right now at the moment. Once we unlock and research more things in the M.A.M, we'll gain access to being able to scan for more things with the object scanner. One of the most useful things that you can use the object scanner for, though, is searching for power slugs. What's a power slug, you may ask? Well, let's go find one and I'll show you exactly what that is. Now, since we haven't found any power slugs and we haven't researched the power slugs, we can't use the object scanner to go hunt for it. But most likely, you've already seen them. Maybe you didn't pay a whole lot of attention to it, maybe you did, but what we want to do is we want to head back down here to our limestone miner. Once we get to the end down here, you see those bunch of rocks right there, the big huge boulders? Let's go to the other side of that. So as you get closer to these rocks, you may start to hear some sort of weird humming noise. All you gotta do is look up and you'll see some kind of glowing thing right there on the edge of that rock. Well, that's a power slug. What we want to do to grab that, we're going to use our ramps. And I'm going to use the 4 meter here real quick. So I'll just put that kind of right there on the edge. We'll zoop it down to the ground, climb up on here, and we're going to pick up with this blue power slug right here. After grabbing our first power slug, obviously we're going to bring it back here to the M.A.M. And you're going to see something new here, the power slugs listed under the menu over here. So let's go ahead and click on that. And right there is our first one. We can get a reward of learning how to make power shards by researching our blue power slug. Now, I don't know if I mentioned this before, but whenever you research something, it does take it out of your inventory. So when we research this power slug, we're no longer going to have that power slug. But there are plenty more out in the world to find. So let's go ahead and research this little guy here. So once the research is done, you can see we have a few more things open here in our tree. One is being able to research the yellow power slugs. The other, slug scanning. We'll be able to find them using the object scanner. This right here, this is what the power slugs are good for. Being able to overclock your machines. But in order to unlock that and show you how it works, we're going to need at least 2 more power slugs, which means we're going to have to find them. So first thing I'm going to do here is we're going to go ahead and research slug scanning. Then we can pop up our object scanner. We can hit our right mouse button once again until we have power slugs up. And then it's just a matter of kind of looking around until we can find one. So if we come back down here to our limestone miner once again, and kind of look around, you can see if we start turning towards the west, you can see on our object scanner that the bar underneath the Fix-It logo is starting to get a little larger. If we turn away, it gets shorter. So using the object scanner is kind of like a radar. If you've ever seen the movie Aliens, you know how they scan to see if the aliens are around, the motion detectors and stuff, kind of like that. So we're going to start walking west here towards our iron deposit right here and that rock. And you can see the closer we get, the more it starts to beep, and the more the bar fills up. Soon you'll be able to hear that hum, and voila, we've located another one. Once again, I'm going to use my ramps to get up here to it, and then we're going to collect the little guy. Once you've collected a slug, go ahead and dismantle the ramp we just put up there. Alright, so that's one, but we need at least 1 to 2 more. From this point, I can see we have another one somewhere nearby, so let's see if we can't scout this one out. Ah, found the little bugger. He's right over here next to our toxic plant. Well, can't really blame him. That guy's a really fun guy to hang out with. Alright, so I really don't want to bother with the gas, so I'm just going to use my ramps. Again, we're going to climb up to the top and grab this guy. Not only that, but from up here, I actually see another one right there over there on that rock. I mean, since we're over in this direction, we might as well go ahead and grab them. Now, while you're out and about and exploring, you always got to be cautious of the local wildlife. This one right here is guarded by a couple of these chargers. And if we look a little bit further over there to the west, you can see another blue power slug right on the tip of that cliff. I mean, you can never have too many power slugs. After collecting that guy, I think it's time to head back to the hub. But as you're heading kind of southeast from that one, if you look up on top of this rock right here, you will see something red kind of glowing up there. You can also hear the hum of what sounds like a power slug. But it's not a power slug at all. That, my friends, is a summer sloop. Let's go ahead and grab that too. Alright, so this right here, this is a summer sloop. An alien artifact that we need to pick up in order to do cool stuff later on. Might as well go ahead and grab it now since we're here. Alright, so we're back at the hub and back at our M.A.M. Let's go ahead, jump into here. Let's go back to alien technology real quick. Since we gotta serve as a summer sloop, let's go ahead and research said summer sloop. And by doing so, we've now unlocked a little further down the tech tree right here. We can get alien energy harnessing. But for that, we're going to need sand ore. And we haven't really found any of that yet. And then back over to our power slugs. Let's take a look at the overclock production and see what we need. Well, we need 50 wire, 50 plates, and 1 power shard. Let's go ahead over here to our crafting bench. And you can see we can now turn the slugs into power shards. I've got 4 slugs, which means we can make 4 power shards. Once we've got those, we're going to turn around, head back over here to the M.A.M, go to power slugs, and let's go ahead and quickly unlock overclock production. Alright, so now we've unlocked overclocking. What is overclocking exactly? Well, I'm going to show you. So if we come over here to our biomass burners, let's go ahead and configure one of these, and you can see here that we are using 6.67 biomass per minute to make 20 megawatts. I'm going to take one of our power shards, drop it in this slot right here, and then we're going to take this slider and turn it up to 150%. Now you can see we're producing 30 megawatts of power instead of 20, but at the cost of using 10 biomass per minute. Right now at the moment, I think this is a pretty fair trade-off because we have now increased our capacity to 50 megawatts total of power that we have to play with. Now let's come over here to our limestone mining operation. First, let's take a look at the constructor. So we can see that we are not running this very efficiently at all. The efficiency right here where the bars are is 66%. That's a little more than half. Reason for that is because we are not getting enough limestone per minute. In order to make 15 concrete per minute, we need 45 limestone per minute. If we come down here to our miner, where we're on an impure node, we're only getting 30 limestone per minute. Now you can see that we are also using 5 megawatts of power on this thing too. Let's take one of our power shards, drop it in, and increase that to 150%. So then you can see we're actually mining 45 limestone per minute now, which is exactly what our constructor needs. But whenever you put a power shard into one of our constructors or a miner or something like that, it's going to up the needs of power. So we went from 5 megawatts to 8.5 now. And that's why I chose to put a power shard into the biomass burner first, so we wouldn't blow a fuse. So what's going to happen at this point? Now we're making 45 limestone a minute, which is exactly what our constructor needs, 45 limestone per minute. You can already see the efficiency starting to go up. We're already at 70%. With enough time, this is going to jump to 100%. So what you can kind of deduct from this is that the efficiency is going to go down for one of 2 reasons. A, we're not getting enough material per minute coming in, or we're not able to send enough out. So if this starts to get backed up right here, and we're not able to send out as much as it's actually making, let's say for example, our conveyor belts right now on Mark 1 can only do about 60 per minute. What if I was making 75 of something a minute, or 80? Well, that belts wouldn't be able to handle that. So this would start to get backed up, and therefore, our efficiency would decrease. Alright, so there's one more thing that we can do with the M.A.M. But before we can do that, we need to go find something. So once again, our journey point here is going to be at the limestone miner, and we are just going to kind of go straight north, right up that way. Eventually, you're going to come to these two iron deposits right here. We still want to keep going kind of northeast from here, though. Kind of head up this hill towards those rocks right there that you see just in front of us. And just as we crest over this hill right here, you're going to come up on this crash site. Now, there are a lot of these spread all over the map that you can find. Usually they're guarded by something, though. This one seems to be two of our chargers here, so I'm going to take care of these two guys. Once the two big guys here have been dispatched, then we come down here and you can see it's just kind of littered with all sorts of stuff down here. We've got concrete, we've got rotors, we've got iron rods, we got some cables over here. This is the location on the map that we are looking for. It's just a little bit north of this little water right here. So right that direction. This is where our hub is. And if we come all the way up here, right there. That's where you need to go to find the crash site. Every crash site you find is going to have different stuff just kind of littered around. That makes it handy to find these because it just kind of gives you a quick upgrade to stuff. And I used to think that all this was random every time you played, but it's actually not. So every crash site has the exact same stuff on it every time you play. So if I was to start another new game or, 2 or 3 different games, then every single time I would still have the same things here. I'd have the concrete here. I'd have the rotors over here, the iron rods. All of this would still be here. All right, once you've picked up all the supplies here from the crash site, we're going to come over here to this big yellow box right here, the drop pod. Go ahead and hit E on that. All right, and then you're going to see like a vault cargo door here. And it's going to tell you what it needs right here. Most every single one of these needs something in order to open it. Some things need 2. This one, for example, needs 40 megawatts in order to open it. So we got to run power to this thing. And like I said, some things require 2 things. So it may require like something like, 47 rotors. And then it's also going to require power. So what we want to do in order to open this is we're going to have to place down a couple of biomass burners. So we'll just place a couple of these down. We'll do one here and another one right next to it right there. Run everything to a power pole in the middle between them. And then run a line from the power pole to that. Now we just got to throw something in here. Luckily, I've got some great stuff we can use here. I've got some biomass. And then we'll just go ahead and switch on the on switch there. And then come over here to the drop pod. And then just pull the red lever down. And we're going to get this hard drive out of here. Once we've got the hard drive, we'll go ahead and disassemble the 2 biomass burners and our power pole. Get all of that back. And then we're going to head back to our hub. Once we're back into the hub, again, we're going to go back into the M.A.M. and we're going to have something new up here called hard drives. So if we click that, you can see we have one hard drive that we just found. What we're going to do is we're going to click scan hard drive, and that's going to take about 10 minutes or so. All right, so while that is currently researching, I'm just going to go ahead and make myself some more biomass so that I can feed the machines. After the 10 minutes, you will hear a little chime that's going to tell you that it is complete. We'll come back over here, and again, you're greeted with a message that says hard drive scan is completed. So we'll hit confirm. Then we'll have to go back into the M.A.M. after we get that message and hit confirm on that. You don't have to do that every single time, just that time. And then go over here to where it says hard drive library. Click on that, then you're going to see what we have. So the way 1.0 works is now we only get 2 recipes. We used to be able to get 3, but now we only get 2. But we don't have to choose right away. We can save it over here, go find another hard drive, come back, scan that hard drive, still have this one in here. Now there are tons of alternate recipes that we can get as rewards for scanning the hard drives. Like right now, I have the option to either get iron wire, that's making wire out of iron. That's not too shabby, but it's not the recipe that I really want right now, especially at the beginning of the game. Or I can choose another 6 inventory slots. Yeah, I mean, that is great, but I don't think I really need that right now. Now, it does give us the option to rescan our hard drive one more time. We can only do this once more, though. In this particular case, I didn't get the recipe I was kind of looking for. I'm going to go ahead and do that. And by clicking that, we instantly get another 2 recipes. Looks like the +6 inventory slots has popped back up again. But we also got cast screws. This is the best recipe to get early in the game. This is what's the one you really want to look for right now. It allows us to take and make screws straight from iron ingots instead of having to make the rods and then make the screws out of the rods. So, ultimate beginning recipe, alternate recipe, I should say, right here. This is the one you want to look for. So go for that one. And then I'm going to go ahead and select reward. And then now we can make screws straight from the iron ingots. All right, so unlike some of the other things we've researched here in the M.A.M, like the pale berries and barrel nuts, etc., we unfortunately are not able to search for the crash sites using the hand scanner. It's just something you got to kind of look out for around the map. But whenever you find one and you can open it and get the hard drive, definitely do so. Alternate recipes are a game changer in here. So in the future, I'll probably do another video about the best alternate recipes that you can get. But for now, we're just going to kind of continue on with building and our guide. So the next episode is going to be, we're going to dive into the tier 2 stuff, as well as continue more work around building our actual starter factory. Now, so far, I've just been kind of going through each of the tiers and milestones one by one. That way I can give everybody kind of a really good guide on how everything works. But for the long-time Satisfactory players who have been with the game since early access, let me know in the comments down below, which ones do you like to unlock first? What sequence do you go in? Do you do logistics before base building? Maybe you go straight to obstacle clearing. I'd love to hear how you do it. So if you've enjoyed this video and the series so far that you've watched, make sure to give it a big thumbs up. And if you're not already subscribed to the channel, very much appreciated if you did click that button. But that's all I got for you today. So my fellow Fix-It engineers, wherever you are in the world, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. And I'll see you in the next video.